Hello again, and welcome to my madness. Alright, so, I can't remember exactly what point I left off in my last little video, but I know I've definitely made some progress. Yeah, look at all this. So, I printed my own enclosure, so to speak. I say so to speak because it's actually multiple parts. And I did this for a reason. I did this for two main reasons. One is I can't fit this whole thing, right? And here's a panel that I put together, right? Can't fit this onto this. It's too big. So I have to print it in sections. Also, I kind of like the modular aspect of what I'm doing because it allows me to take it apart and rearrange it if things don't work out, or maybe I want to add to it. If you notice, these plates that I built they're all the same pretty much. If you look, these bolt patterns match with the bolt holes on these orange pies, right? And these bolt patterns are custom. They match up with these tabs that I also 3D printed. And if you look, you can't really tell just by looking at them. Maybe you can, but these are actually the same screws that you would use to mount a case fan, into a case or some other enclosure. This fat, actually, I pull one up right here. This guy. So I used those because I also went with a different type of fan. I was going to use these, and I could still use them, but I would have to wire it differently, and I'll explain that in a minute. But I went with these. So these are 5-volt, I call them PC fans. You can put them in a PC, but you'd have to rig it differently. And the reason why I went with these is two reasons. One is, if you look at them, they're really thin. So if I take another one of these fans, let's say this one, it's a lot thicker. So it isn't necessarily a deal breaker, even with this setup, because I could just mount it on the outside maybe. But I wouldn't be able to fit it in the current way I have it. I wouldn't be able to fit it in here. And I like the fan as close to the PCBs as possible to get as much airflow directly onto it without it kind of circulating. And then, of course, the idea is also that, onto my second reason before I go out too far off track. So these fans are 5-volt. These are 12-volt. I believe it says it right there, DC 12-volt, right? These fans I can power directly off of the 5-volt and ground pins on the Pi, which makes wiring a lot easier. I've noticed that even though the rotation's more, I think these are 2200 RPM, something like that. I did notice that these push more air, but I believe, because I've already tested it, undervolting the other fans, and they pushed about the same amount of air, and I don't have any way of really checking the exact airflow, but I'm pretty confident. As long as I'm using these heat sinks, which I'll go over in a minute, the airflow that these provide should be sufficient. And I do plan to, finish this enclosure off, like putting a side on it, and then a top, which is why I put this together. This is actually going to be my top. Okay. So I should get good airflow. So yeah, I use these smaller fans. I use these thinner 5-volt fans for that purpose. And again, if it doesn't work out, I do have a contingency. I do have a backup plan, if you will. If I can find it. Okay. So actually, yes, my video's a mess, as well as my life. Okay, so again, this little fan array right here, and if you'll notice, there's a device, there's a contraption hooked up to it. Okay, so you see this? So that's your. It's suitable to plug into a 4-pin PWM header, but it only really has I think 2 pins. Yeah, it's only 2 pins, but it's keyed. It'll fit the 3-pin, standard 3-pin, or 4-pin PWM fan header. So this contraption is a 5-volt USB to 12-volt step-up controller. So this will work, and I've tested it, and man, these things spin really good on this. And it even has an adjustable speed. I don't know why I would reduce the speed unless I'm concerned about noise, but they run pretty quiet. Anyway, so they will work, and they will work on these. I've plugged them in, and that's the cool thing is you can plug, one header, like maybe this header. This header would work because I did that, and then have 2 fans controlled on it. But I'm only going to do that if I have to. I guess this setup actually was kind of an afterthought once I bought all that stuff already, and I realized, oh, well, I could probably do it this way when I was shopping around, and I just happened to stumble across these fans. So again, these do work. I've already test run them, and they do cool fairly sufficiently. And if I don't know, if something happens, then I'll change it. But I like this setup better because look at the wiring. So I made a little wiring harness right here. Okay, and I used, digging up more stuff, bought a pack of this on Amazon. Has these are jumpers for project breadboard projects, whatnot. No, that one fell. But I will show you how I have them plugged in. So these little 5-volt fans come equipped with this little tiny 2-pin header. Not really compatible with what I'm trying to do, but if I hook up these project jumpers to that, and you got these little ends here, I'll take this out of the way, they plug right into that. So then I don't have to cut the wires, don't have to cut these wires. I could just plug everything straight in, and everything's modular. I can unplug it if I want to. I can unplug it straight from this. And I don't know, for me, I think that's pretty nifty. I like that idea. I like that ability to do that. So, all right. So, if you notice, there's a spot vacant. I have this plus 4 more to install. So what I ended up doing, look, I installed this heatsink thermal glue onto the PCB, onto the CPU side of it, right? Got some more of these. They actually came pretty quick. So I bought some other crappier ones, and they do not work as well. So, but these are from Alpha Cool. You can get them on Amazon. I got them from Titan Rig, but as long as they ship me the right product, so that's the reason they're not paying me. No one pays me. Not yet, anyway. But yeah, so they ship they shipped it pretty quick, and it's a genuine product, so no worries there. Yeah, all this camera angle here. I'm trying to open the box with one hand. So here's how they come outside the box. Looks all, I mean, it's just styrofoam and plastic, right? But it looks all cool. Looks like it's shipped with care. These fins are pretty delicate, so I would imagine they would want to ship these with care. So the thought is this, and it's the same thought I've been having, you know, because I've already done this several times. So that one got away from me, but rest assured it does cool properly. I did mine with it to test it, and it's cooling. So that will be perfectly fine. So the idea is to get these thermal glued and stacked, and then I'll probably have to flash some more SD cards because I haven't done that yet, and didn't think that through. So maybe in the next clip I'll have something else for you. Bye. You know, if I was smart, I'd set up my tripod again, but if I was smart, I'd be a millionaire, billionaire even. You know, some billionaires that aren't very smart. But anyway, I digress. So what should I do here? Oh, anyway, so here's a heat sink. I glued one already. And here's one that is not glued. So I'll put the heat sink right there so you can see it. Alright, so I think I talked about thermal glue in one of my videos. There it is. Nondescript thermal glue. I don't know, Janelle, whatever. That's what it is. It's thermal glue. Unscrew it. Look at that. Look at my unscrewing skills. Put the slightest amount on there. This might not be in focus, but I'm actually trying to do this right. Very, very, very small amount. The reason why. Remember that? That's one of the reasons why. So this stuff doesn't set right away. Gives you a pretty good working time. Pretty long working time. So, put thermal glue on. And I'm going to try my best to one hand spread this. I want fairly even coat of this stuff. I don't know how critical it is to spread it, but I'm going to, because it's glue, and once it's set, and I'm not going to risk destroying one of these trying to rip it off, which is why the other one has not been corrected. So I think that's all you need. You just need like a thin coat to kind of seat it. Probably don't even need that much. All right? So, orientation's important. All right? Notice the way this is going. Airflow will go through this. If you put it like this, airflow will go against it. It'll still cool, but not nearly as well as if you install it properly. So, putting it on. My hand's in the way. So this will actually slide around. So, more is not better. Also, I'm thinking the less thermal glue I have on there, the less sliding will happen. And I notice that one is staying put. It has not moved since I put it on there. And these were moving around. I don't know if this one moved very much. It doesn't look like it moved at all. Well, this one, obviously, I had a problem. And there's others, but they're underneath. Can't really see them that well. Oh, look, I have that. See it? Now, this heatsink here, I get my finger in the right spot. Gotta have your finger in the right spot. This heatsink, that's one of those crappy ones. And if I have problems, fortunately it's only one down. I could just take this top one off and attempt to pull that off. I don't know. That's not, Fortunately, there's a different type of thermal adhesive on that, so maybe it'll be easier to take off. But I don't want to risk it and then being a little lazy in the process. Anyway, so that's how you thermally glue one of these, and that was with one hand. So that's how easy it is. And perhaps in the next clip, you will see me assembling the stack. Okay, so through the magic of my beautiful editing, I have glued on all of my heat sinks. I'm pretty sure that thermal adhesive is still setting, but it's enough to where I feel comfortable moving on with the next step. Oh, and while I was waiting, I went ahead and flashed some more SD cards, and that is not the right side. Yeah, there it is right there, actually. You see it? It's inserted. It's got the OS on it. But I didn't bore you with that process because I've showed that process almost a half dozen times. Anyway, so for the purpose of demonstrating this, I will attempt to show you how these go in. So I just put these in like this. Okay, so the first four, probably the most precarious. Oh, something to note, I don't have enough standoffs to complete this. Fortunately, I do have more coming in, but who knows when they'll get here. So it's maybe a long to be continued. Depending on how long I want to wait, I may find more from another source. I do tend to become impatient, especially when I want to get my rig all set up. Anyway, don't think this is the best way to do this, actually, because now when I flip this over, these are all going to fall out. Yeah, this is not the normal way to do this. I usually have two hands involved. But again, me being brilliant, I decided not to use my tripod. See if I can get this flipped over without messing this up. Oh, one fell out. Yep. Alright, so, yeah, that's alright. That's alright. We're gonna make it. Oh no, another one fell out. Yeah. Yay! Okay. You know what? Here's what I'll do. Here's what I'll do. I'll go ahead and sneak this one back under here, like that. You know what? How does one do this with only one hand? Now, if I were unfortunate enough not to have two hands, perhaps I would have some difficulty, huh? But I'm a nut, and I'm going to try to find a way to do it without losing all my standoffs. I think I'll figure it out. So anyway, I'm going to attempt to put a link to all of this stuff in the descriptions. I don't have exact measurements for these standoffs. I do know that this pin here, so this is 3M and it's 6M long. So, yeah, you can see a whole bunch of nothing there. Anyway, so I am, yeah. I'm gonna post this just as is. Anyway, there you go. Look at that. Yeah. I'm so smart. See, you know, when you watch my videos, you get a blooper reel and a production reel in one. That's the advantage of watching the Sasquatch do things. Because I generally don't rehearse things. Some things I do. But sometimes I just don't really care. And if you have any patience whatsoever, maybe you don't either. Yeah. get it started at least. Yeah, there you go. Look at that. Look at that. Uh-huh. Yeah. Getting it all assembled. This is the hardest part, really. If you're trying to do this with one hand, is this part. Yeah, see, I don't have enough because I need... Yeah, I don't know exactly how many I need. But, okay, so, got that assembled, and you get to watch me do that whole thing with... Well, it was with two hands, actually. I just was using... Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. Screw it back in. All right, cool. So, another shaky video. So, we're looking at this. This is partially assembled. This is one, the first layer, first one. Okay. Now you look. There's a hole that I did, and I designed this 3D print myself. And then there's another hole, a couple holes back there. All right, and these line up. These holes. Trust me, they do, because I've already done two others. So yeah. Okay, so I had to cut that other one kind of short because my son came in the middle of filming, which is what happens when you don't have your own actual studio. Anyway, so yeah, I only have two assembled. Reason being is, as I said before, I do not have enough standoffs, and I ordered some more. And like the brilliant person I am, I of course waited till I had this problem to order the standoffs. But anyway, I could finalize this video and get something out by saying this much. So, as you can see, you did see me put this together, right? So then I sat this one on top, and then I put my last two standoffs on there to kind of secure it, okay? Also, what I've been doing, if you look at these other ones here, and of course this is, where is it at? Yeah, this is kind of jumbled, but I think I could still pull them out and look at them if I need to. Anyway, so I labeled these. And then what I'm going to do is write down the IP address that corresponds with those tags, and I also labeled the end of the USB cable. It's a pretty long cable, and there's going to be a lot of them. This rig will, when it's done, will have a total of 15. 15 cables, 15 pies, 15 cables. That's one of the reasons why I went with this fan solution here, so I can kind of minimize my cabling, because otherwise I'd have to either figure out a way to power these to some other power source, or use that USB setup that I showed earlier in the video. But I'd rather not have to do that. And what I ended up doing is plug it into the, I'll look at it, show you it again. I plugged it into the first two pies, and that powers it off the 5-volt and ground that comes off of these pinouts here. So that will kind of conclude this video. Another video will be forthcoming, and hopefully I have more of the enclosure assembled, as well as the rest of these installed. Anyway, that will be it. Thanks for watching. Bye.